What if I told you playing with the most powerful cards in Magic's history just became more affordable? Follow me on this one. The Timeless format on Magic Arena has some of the wildest spread of legal Magic cards in Magic's history, only equivalent to that of Vintage, honestly. Force of Negation coming out of the Avatar set. It's the only format where you could play 4 strip mines legally. It is a hot mess. But it's also a haven for all the degenerate Magic players out there, and today I'm showcasing some Reanimator. Crazy plays like turn 1 Dark Ritual into a Sorin Imperious Bloodlord allows you to cheat out a Saint Elenda into a spellbook and some insane advantage, or you could go Faithless Looting a Atraxa and Olivia Crimson Bride away, allowing you to reanimate the Olivia, bring in the Atraxa, draw some cards, and hit in for a bunch. This Timeless Reanimator list does all of the broken things. Yes, it does lose to its mulligans sometimes, but not only is it able to grind, it's able to outlast a lot of the broken format. Let's play some Timeless. See, this can technically work. 2 cards back to the bottom. If I Thoughtseize myself and then reanimate the Saint Elenda, I guess. Watery Grave and Chrome Mox likely means this is some type of build that wants to throw an Emrakul and an Omniscience out, and exactly, Assemble the Team is gonna soft tutor. What's crazy here is that I'm pretty sure it's just correct to Thoughtseize them, but then unfortunately that means that I have no forward plan in this game unless I top deck something. So I think we're just gonna have to play to that route and see what they're doing. Thoughtseize reveals this hand, and I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to take the Omniscience so that now they have to get 2 pieces. Assemble the Team tutors for something else, and what's nice is if they go the Omniscience route and go Show and Tell to get my Saint Elenda out as well, I can also potentially just grab something from the Saint Elenda that also destroys an artifact or enchantment. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Bloodstained Mire is going to fetch something to thin out our deck, and let's see what our opponent does into a Brainstorm. 2 cards back on top into a Polluted Delta. They're going to assemble again. They've been tutoring hard. They cracked the Delta, and at this point, I have to imagine the Show and Tell is in their hand and they have to have something. Now, Deathrite Shaman is kind of unfortunate because that really does stop my death reanimation ability. We're gonna get a Blood Crypt tapped and go to our turn. Blood Crypt tapped, and all we did was draw a Saint Elenda. So at this point, Show and Tell comes out, and I just have to hope this is on Omniscience, and then maybe I can draw some type of artifact enchantment removal. Thankfully, the Omniscience goes off, which means I get my Saint Elenda and I can grab destroy target artifact or enchantment, and then I can wait for them to respond, and then I can just answer it from there. So let's see what we can do here. They got their combo off, but then I'm going to be able to gain some life here and then destroy that sucker. And that's Timeless for you, folks. They tutored and they did all of that. They did their plan, and we actually managed to win off of the craziest hand. We go first, and honestly, this hand could be good enough. It's just, I wish I had another black source, because now I got to go Chrome Mox into the Ardyn to be able to Thoughtseize the Atraxa myself and then reanimate it. Maybe that's good enough. Let's try it. Chrome Mox hits the Ardyn. Thoughtseize myself, revealing my whole hand, put the Atraxa down, and then unfortunately I don't get to reanimate. I will next turn though. Monkey Knot goes Urberg Pass, which means, okay, I'm not gonna get this countered, but do they potentially have a win next turn? Let's see. Let's reanimate our Atraxa and draw our cards. So opponent knew we had to reanimate and didn't concede anyway. Maybe they had a challenge that made it so they had to play lands, but all right. Why do I have to have these hands with no black source? Oh, this was so close to something, because even then, maybe the Sorin allows me to cheat something out, but I don't even have a target for that, so we mulligan. Now this hand is actually a little bit better. I will try this. I'll keep this and drop one of my reanimates, and I think, actually, wait, no. I think I'm supposed to drop the Sorin, because then I have both of my reanimates regardless. The key to this keep is that even if they Thoughtseize me, I'm like relatively safe of that, because then I can just Thoughtseize myself. But let's go Blackcleave Cliffs and Thoughtseize them. That way next turn I can go Faithless Looting into the Reanimate because I drew the Blackcleave Cliffs. Opponent is playing some type of fair mono black plan, so I actually kind of want them to bandit me so I can like reanimate stuff. So at this point, I think I'm supposed to just take the Unstoppable Slasher out, especially because it combos with the Bloodletter, and I'm worried about like Dark Ritual being top decked in this deck. So maybe I'm actually supposed to take out Murderous Rider so they don't have a destroy spell. Yeah, that reasoning's pretty fair. Let's take out the Murderous Rider. Bandit gets cast, and then I discard a Slain Elenda. Buried Alive is going to be pretty sweet for later. So for now, let's hit our Reanimate on the Saint Elenda. There's an argument to be made about like, oh, hitting Bloodletter on their side, but for now, what we're going to be doing is just gaining some life and probably making another threat. No, we're going to to draw a card. In for life, draw a card. The Atraxa is actually straight gas. We are going to be playing the Blackcleave Cliffs and passing. I don't want to expose my graveyard just yet. I am still kind of worried about that. End of my turn, thanks to the Saint Elenda, I'm going to make a 4/4 because I gain 4 life, and we'll take it from there. Opponent goes mana into the Unstoppable Slasher, which is fine. We could actually go Buried Alive, and that would actually be goated. So folks, check this out. We're going to go Ancient. The Ancient Tomb draw is actually kind of insane. So we're going to go Buried Alive. And then what we're going to do is we're going to auto pay for this, lose some life, and then we're going to put 3 cards into our graveyard. What that then allows us to do is go Ardent into the Ghalta, which then allows us to play the Atraxa. And then we can also put the Ulamog in there as well. But then we can also grab the Olivia. Actually, yeah, Olivia into the Ghalta, into the Ulamog as well. So we're going to go Olivia, which whenever it attacks, return target creature card from your graveyard tapped and attacking. We will be putting the Ghalta in there. And then the last card we're going to be putting in is Ulamog. Then what we do is we reanimate the Olivia back from our graveyard. We then move to combat from there, probably leave back a 4/4 just in case. Then we trigger that, get the Ghalta out. That Ghalta triggers, puts the Atraxa onto the battlefield. I then draw a bunch of cards. Looking through it, it's not bad. I can draw 5 cards here. I think my instant is only going to be Dark Ritual. The creature I grab will probably end up being the Saint Elenda, just because I can bring it out with the Sorin. And then my sorcery is the interesting one. I think I'm supposed to grab Reanimate and then grab the, yeah, I think I'm supposed to just grab the Reanimate and the Blackcleave Cliffs. So opponent takes all that damage going down to 1. I gain a bunch of life into a bunch of 4/4s, and I have enough blockers here. Opponent plays the Bloodletter of Alkazots, but they can't actually deal any damage to me, so I will just block here. Now the Unstoppable Slasher returns, but they lose anyway. Yeah, I don't know what opponent's trying to do here. I mean, GG's to them. This is what Timeless is. Now we go first, and I don't even have a way to power out like a Sorin or put anything in the graveyard, so we are going to mulligan, but opponent has a Luro, so potentially something fast, Thoughtseize effect. So we're gonna mulligan and then find ourselves with a close hand. If I had a Dark Ritual into this, I would keep it, because then I could bring out the Saint Elenda. We're gonna mulligan again, and now we don't have a black source. This is one of the downsides of this deck. Look at how deep we're mulliganing just for this. We're gonna have to go down to some insane mana amount. So we're gonna keep this probably, then go pitch, ding, and probably ding, if I'm gonna be honest. Then we can go Chrome Mox, and you could top deck the nuts. That's the key here. You could very well top deck the nuts. We will pass right through. I will not cast anything. I might get punished for this, which is perfectly fine. Okay, looks like we're up against thing, and this is what I'm talking about. I could potentially top deck the Reanimate. So we're gonna Faithless Looting now, and then we will go drop. Unfortunately, I need a black source, and I was hoping to put a creature away. That was the goal. I was hoping to put a creature away and find a land, but unfortunately we can't have everything. We did put 2 Atraxas at the bottom, by the way, so it's not like we're finding those anytime soon. Opponent goes land, and I think we're just gonna end up losing this. Yeah, Static Prison like cancels it out. We went all in on a hand. We just couldn't find one that was keepable in any way, so we go to next. Now, if we were on the play, I would actually consider this, because Overlord fills our graveyard, but we have to mulligan this. Now, this hand could work. Not really. So here's the thing. I have to go Chrome Mox into a black source to even like Thoughtseize my Elenda away, which means I lose my Necromancy. Then do I Chrome Mox a red source? Because then I have no black, and I'm having a Faithless Looting. I don't know. Is Saint Elenda even fast enough for this? I think we mulligan again, and then we hopefully can make this work. Okay, so we'll keep this. Then what we can do is maybe drop the Ghalta and probably the Thoughtseize itself, and we'll take it from there. What I can do is I can even Olivia. So I can Faithless Looting the Olivia away, try and find a land. Opponent goes red into Ragavan. I think this is still, ooh, I mean, if I kept that Thoughtseize, this was so great. But regardless, we're gonna go Cliffs and Faithless Looting to try and find a source. We're gonna go Saint Elenda and the Olivia. It's nice that we get to keep a Saint Elenda in hand, which is kind of nice. So let's see, Ragavan is going to swing in first, I imagine. We get hit for 2. Ragavan finds a Saint Elenda, which is fine. That's not something that they are going to be able to cast, which is great. It's not like a Sorin or anything. Juggernaut Peddler comes down as like a soft Thoughtseize effect. They unfortunately will take our life and death, and we will have to probably Dark Ritual to just Faithless Looting. Go back to our turn. We will play the cliffs that they've seen. I will cast a Dark Ritual and try and find a reanimation effect. Fortunately, we find 2 lands. I will go pitch on 2 of these lands and pass the turn. Now we can find Sorin, to be fair, next turn and just do that to play the Saint Elenda. But let's see what the Ragavan takes from us. Thankfully, the Ragavan hits us and took an Olivia Crimson Bride, which is, again, not a card that they can play anytime soon. And so we can still top deck what we need. And this is kind of like the craziness of Timeless, where cards like Juggernaut Peddler keep these decks honest, where if you try and play a semi-fair plan, it's just never going to work. You got to try and go off on that first turn. Either that or have a ton of resiliency, maybe in something like Affinity, where, yeah, you can find cards off the top that draw you a bunch. Opponent goes Guide of Souls and pass. Thankfully, we did find the Reanimate, which is absolutely insane for us. So what we will do is we will play the Bloodstained Mire. We will cast Reanimate, and hopefully our opponent doesn't get too much value off of this. We're going to play that, and then opponent doesn't have any energy, which is kind of nice. But they will fetch here, so I'm kind of scared about this. Fetch for a Parlor tapped is actually good vibes in general, and so we will get our Olivia trigger off. We will attack. Trigger brings back the Saint Elenda, and I think at this point, what I'm supposed to do is Fate's Fetter, or... No, it doesn't stop triggered abilities. So I think... I don't know, maybe I am supposed to take the Fate's Fetter and hit the Ragavan, or am I supposed to just draw a card? Maybe even just draw a card. Honestly, it's probably gain 4 life and draw a card. Yeah, so let's Bloodstained Mire and put some stuff away here. We will grab a Blood Crypt tapped, and then we will gain 4 life, draw a card, and give us some time here. Opponent ends up taking the 7 damage. We create an 8/8 because of the amount of life we gain this turn. Guide of Souls triggers off the Amped Raptor. They get another Amped Raptor, which is absolutely hilarious. Thankfully, you know, they get a bunch of energy, which is great for them. They now have the 4 they need to attack with Guide of Souls and make a thing. Static Prison comes down and definitely takes my Olivia, but I think this triggers for itself, which is kind of nice off the Elenda, and they will attack with the Guide of Souls. They will give that thing flying. That will continue to hit me. Ragavan takes Chrome Mox, which is honestly perfectly fine. You know, I kind of hate the fact that they didn't destroy anything. Otherwise, this Reanimate would have been like pretty top tier, but we will go to combat. They're going to block the 8/6 in general. That will die. I will gain 4 life and then create a 4/4. I will also then fetch and then shock. Oh my God, opponent concedes anyway, just because I can play the Juggernaut. There's no way I won this game, but all right, GG's. Opponent goes first, but this hand's gas. You go Dark Ritual into Sorin, play a Saint Elenda, and hopefully answer the first thing that they play. Fingers crossed, let's do it. Opponent goes Grief. I mean, there goes my Dark Ritual, so hopefully I can find Chrome Mox into Reanimate or something. Grief goes away. Opponent plays their own Chrome Mox, which is interesting. So a lot of cards have actually left their hand. They put a Balustrade Spy, or actually they put a Balustrade Spy under there. So this is the self-mill win deck that wants to like reanimate Thassa's Oracle or like creeping chill us a bunch. So it's fine. We got some time. We will play a Blood Crypt and just cast Faithless Looting. Faithless Looting finds us what we need. So I will actually drop the Bloodstained Mire and one of the Overlords. I do want to leave myself open to not losing to like some form of Thoughtseize effect should they have it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Otherwise, I can Saint Elenda and then hopefully just hit the Chrome Mox and set them back on some mana. As long as opponent doesn't have land Dark Ritual into another Balustrade Spy, we should be okay. But having put away to Balustrade Spy does mean something. Opponent Thoughtseizes me here. They definitely take the Saint Elenda, which is fine. And that just means we go Ancient Tomb into an Overlord of the Balemurk. So we go Overlord specifically that we can get our Saint Elenda back. We managed to find some other reanimation targets. So if we find like an Olivia, we can get back like the Ulamog and go from there. But regardless, we get to do the same thing again, and opponent has not found a land. Opponent goes Dark Ritual into a Sorin, and then that probably allows them to cheat in the Balustrade Spy here. So this is kind of the funny thing. Balustrade Spy itself is a vampire that they can cheat out. So it looks like, yeah, they have the whole shebang here. They have one Progenitus to shuffle back in. They have a Narcomoeba. They have some prized amalgams. And yeah, like, I mean, overall, this is like relatively like the normal win that we would see here. And thankfully, one creeping chill is gone. So those prized amalgams are going to come back next turn. I mean, I just have to see if any of this like means anything. I don't think it is. I don't think there's any way we're actually like surmount some type of win. But let me see if I'm actually missing something. We're going to go Sorin and then minus the 3 here to bring in the Saint Elenda. Saint Elenda comes in, we gain some life, but I don't even think in terms of options we really have anything. There's nothing that destroys graveyards. They're kind of overwhelming us on board here, and then this can enter and maybe block something. So I can take a total of, maybe I create a 4/4, so 1 2 3, that's gone, and then I gain 4 life. I can mitigate a total of 9 damage. That is 1 2 3 of these. I don't have enough to block out everything. It was close though. There were things that could win us this game. So for example, if I had an Olivia there, you still go to draw, and then I can Ulamog, and then yeah, there was like a line, but regardless, opponent was able to find it before us, so GG's. Opponent goes first, and honestly, this is fine. Like, I can go Sorin into Saint Elenda, so we'll keep this one. I'll probably go Chrome Mox into a Necromancy, maybe? I don't know, we'll see. And opponent goes Ragavan, so I can Fate's Fetters that. That's pretty good. Yeah, we're definitely going to keep the other Sorin, because then I can cheat out the other Saint Elenda should I need to. So yeah, we're going to go Chrome Mox. Grab ourselves a Necromancy for a black source. Yeah. And then we'll go Ancient Tomb into Sorin. Let's see if they care about this much. And opponent does. They lose the game. Let's go to next. Opponent goes first, and our hand doesn't do anything. If one of these cards is a Faithless Looting, oh my God, is it gas. So we're going to mulligan this one. And then we find ourselves in a place where we actually have something, folks. Folks, we are going to keep this one. We are going to drop the Sorin. We can go Chrome Mox on the Thoughtseize, Bloodstained Mire, grab a land, put the Atraxa away. Oh my God, folks, we're in an amazing place here. Let's hope opponent doesn't do anything absolutely insane initially. Bloodstained Mire grabs a swamp. Don't Thoughtseize me, please. GG's. Oh my God. Okay, so they're going to take my Reanimate, which is fair. And then at this point, I have to then slow them down by Thoughtseizing them, because this probably means that they're going to do something either broken or fair, and I need to know. I need to know which one of those that is, and I'm more than fine with giving myself time. Opponent goes Grief Pitch off the Desperation. Grief Pitch, Grief. All right, fine. Thoughtseize me. Take my Thoughtseize or my Looting. All right, Looting it is. You're getting Thoughtseized. Bloodstained Mire gets fetched, grabs a Blood Crypt on tap. You are definitely getting Thoughtseized. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this Barrelgoyf. Look at this Barrelgoyf right here. Commander design cards breaking formats that are not meant to have these cards. Pass right through. What an insane threat. This would have been such a good resolve for them. Now don't play Doughty Voidwalker. All right, good. Looks like we're passing through. Thoughtseize again. Oh, come on. All right, take my Chrome Mox, I'm imagining, as my mana source. Haha, Thoughtseize bug. We found them. Now we are gonna go and pass. I don't think it serves us to actually play this, because then if they Thoughtseize, they may actually look for the Chrome Mox itself. But then, to be fair, if they're Thoughtseizing, then they're forced to take something else. So I think in this case, we lost a bunch of stuff here. I think what we want to do is just play the Chrome Mox, honestly. Just play it, put the Ardyn underneath, because we need a black source. And then if we can find another source of mana, we can Faithless Looting, start putting cards away. Ancient Tomb pass is great, and we're just going to go after an Olivia Voldaren. Not a Voldaren, it's Crimson Bride. Want to go Swamp pass, and we have the mana we need. Let's Faithless Looting, baby. This is absolutely insane. I get to go Olivia into Atraxa next turn. Opponent, you better have that Thoughtseize. Opponent goes Bloodstained Mire and passes. Folks, it is over. Let's go. Reanimate. Target in our graveyard the Olivia Crimson Bride. Now, this could actually be really greedy. Now, okay, opponent concedes. I was saying, if they had a removal spell, it's actually just better for me to get the Atraxa, but we ended up getting there. Folks, I think this is enough of an experiment. You got to see how wild Timeless truly is.